This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hey there, ho there. It's Jeff Jarrett. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe on this day. Wrongo. It's actually birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, November the 26th, is a former NASCAR driver who now is 65, is now a senior citizen. Well, I know 55 in America, but 65. He is a commentator for NBC's coverage of NASCAR. He's won the Daytona 500 3 times, which is pretty good. And he's a Winston Cup or the NASCAR champ in 1999. Dale Jarrett is the son of two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett, the younger brother Glenn Jarrett, and the father of former driver Jason Jarrett, who actually lent his name to a famous PlayStation video game, which I love, called Jarrett and Labonte Racing, and the cousin of Todd Jarrett. So it was weird. Anyway, Dale Jarrett decided to retire in 2008 and became the lead racing analyst of ESPN stuff. But then in 2015, when NBC took over the broadcasting of NASCAR races, then he went to NASCAR. So anyway, of course, Dale Jarrett's known for his father Ned Jarrett being a champion in the 60s and all that. Dale Jarrett actually almost went to the University of South Carolina on a golf scholarship, but he declined. Jarrett entered his first professional race in the sportsman division in Hickory in 1977. He would be in the 1980s. He would be in the light models series and all that. So he went up in rank, and by 1984 he got to be in the Winston Cup series, which is basically the big time in NASCAR. He would drive the 02 car. His first race was at Martinsville and finished 14th. Not bad. He would make 2 more Cup starts. But he earned he earned a ride into the Winston Cup series in a number 18 car. He would be second in Rookie of the Year behind Davey Allison, who sadly passed away in that helicopter crash I talked about when I talked about the 92 NASCAR race, the final race of the year being one of the greatest of all time. He would race in a number 29 car under Cale Yarborough's ownership. Jarrett was a very decent driver and all that. But the big win was in 1993 when he won the Daytona 500, beating Dale Earnhardt, preventing Earnhardt from finally getting the NASCAR's biggest jewel, the Daytona 500. They called it the Dale and Dale Show. Jarrett would not win any other races other than the Daytona 500, but it was great that Jarrett beat Dale Earnhardt with his father Ned in the CBS broadcasting crew when that happens. That was huge. All that. Jarrett would drive in a few races, but his famous car would always be the number 88. In 1996, he won the Daytona 500 for the second time and looked good, winning or taking second place in the first 3 races of the year. He would also win the Coca-Cola 600 and the Brickyard 400, both very decent races and all that. Jarrett would kiss the bricks, which was only for the IndyCar drivers, but NASCAR has had every race winner at Indianapolis since 2003 do it. In the 97 season, he won 7 races, but lost to Jeff Gordon by 14 points, which was terrible and all that. He would end up third in point standings in 1998. And in 1999, after he won at the Pontiac 400, he actually held the points lead and held it for the rest of the year, winning the Winston Cup by over 200 points over Bobby Labonte, winning 4 races: Richmond, Michigan, Daytona, and Indy, which was amazing. He was good and all that. Dale Jarrett would win the Daytona, well, the would win the Daytona 500 in 2000, but dropped heavily. Well, he would win races a lot and do very well for himself. He got his last NASCAR series win in 2005 at Talladega. Jarrett would do pretty well for himself, but he decided to retire in 2008. So he knew he was done for it, but he did pretty well for himself. I mean, he has a good personal life and all that. His brother-in-law was his crew chief when he drove a car for Joe Gibbs Racing. He actually co-owned a fantasy sports site with Terry Bradshaw. And when Dale Jarrett had a Busch Series team, Favre was a part owner. Jarrett has a son who's playing pro ball with the Baltimore Orioles organization. And of course, his other son, Jason, was a driver. In fact, Jason Jarrett was one of the namesakes for the famous PlayStation video game called Jarrett and Labonte Stock Car Racing. I mean, it feels like, oh, it's a NASCAR clone, but that game for all of it is fantastic. You could race NASCAR level stock cars at many courses around the world, even like Vancouver and Toronto. And they never have NASCAR races in Canada except if they're in Montreal. But I mean, to race at those ones, even in Japan, to race stock cars, not Indy cars, it's kind of challenging and cool. All that. So Dale Jarrett was pretty good. All that, winning 3 Indy 500, 3 Daytona 500, pardon. So yeah, Dale Jarrett was a crafty driver and will always be a good driver, even though that he's foreshadowed by his film names like Dale, as in Dale Earnhardt. But still, he's a pretty good driver. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.